What's up, everybody? It is I, the JUICEman3941, coming back to you with another episode of the Gaming Roundtable brought to you by Unpaid Gamers on YouTube. That's right, Unpaid Gamers, home of the post-human guy and the JUICEman. And I want to thank everybody for joining me. We're going to broadcast into this in a little bit while. This is GodEater 3. I want to preface this video. Hold on a second, guys. It went back off the air because the title screen just freaking came back on, and I gotta press the button to get into here, because if I don't, then it's just gonna keep doing this loop, and I want you to be able to see the game, and I want to talk about the game. This is episode 14, GodEater 3, full disclosure, and I want to talk about this is kind of a follow-up video, and I had talked about people talking about games that were simply demos, and we're assuming that the entire game was that at launch. There's a couple things I want to go over. Number one, which I'm going to turn the audio down, because I know that we have a problem if the music's like super loud. You'll hear like too much music in the background, so which is fine there. This is my character. This is Valera, and she's a character I've been playing with, and sort of a facsimile of the characters that I played in GodEater Resurrection and GodEater 2. Number one, I want to say that I have a little bit of apology. I know one YouTuber said that because the demo only came with like 10 hairstyles, and that there wasn't, that he expected a lot more. I know the developer made a statement saying there would be more at launch. The developer of the game did state that. That didn't happen. There was an update like day one, and it did add more accessories and more things to the creative player when you go to your loadout, which I'll go there under appearance, and there's a lot more I can put for accessories on than I had before, and which is kind of cool. It does have a fairly robust creative player, by the way. It is good, and they did do a good job on it, and so I'm actually very pleased with the fact that they did add a bunch of stuff. This is my character using a scythe, which is great. I've got all this new stuff, so it's kind of nice to do this and see this stuff, what I've actually earned. This is my giant laser cannon. Looks pretty badass. The magma oculus, and my Armida scythe. And of course my P2, a level 2 buckler that I've been doing here. I'm in rank 3 missions. But yes, I want to throw in a little apologize. Apparently the YouTuber that did state there would only be 10 hairstyles, they were correct. Even though the developer said otherwise, and I was going by the developer notes, but they were actually correct. I want to say though that GodEater 3 has exceeded my expectations overall. Interestingly enough, that there was some YouTubers out there who thought that the game didn't look any better than GodEater Resurrection, and that is something that I just don't agree with at all. The texture work is a lot better. Everything animates better, and it runs very smooth. This is the chrysanthemum. It's a tank that you go in, and you can go to this area. For example, this is where you get items from this girl. She's a store. She sells you items, and I can buy stuff, restore pills and things like that, which is good to to restock up on. The game is fantastic. Again, it's that Bandai Namco's Monster Hunter type of game, but I'm going to show you some things graphically wise. I need to get into an area and redo a mission. To do this, and not preferably a harder mission, but we'll go to rank 2 mission, and we'll let's see if I can find this. Distress single. Let's see, lower reaches. There's one in particular. Abandoned mines, I think is the case, and we'll do that, and we'll go ahead and confirm the settings, and we'll do this, and so you can see what I'm talking about with the world, the way everything works. The game's graphics are much better than Resurrection or GodEater 2's. I know some YouTubers out there stated they didn't feel like it was any better. It really wasn't any better at all that it wasn't a good, that the graphics by comparison wasn't great, but I disagree with it 100%. I think the graphics look fantastic. I think there is some subtleties to it that really make it stand out. Now, granted, like the graphics of the rocks, of course, they're not super high res. You can tell that, but there's little things, you know, that I can do to. Let me go ahead and take this character's items and wrap me out of here. But for example, the leaves, for example, they look nice, they're sharp, they're crisp, they animate. I like these little bushes. They look good, they bounce in the wind, they, you know, which is really nice. You can look around you. It's got a very good lighting, for example. One of the things that I like about the game is the game's lighting. The lighting is excellent. It's got good shadow work and detail between going from a light area to dark area. Sometimes, and let's see if I can get to an area that I can actually show you this. This is really cool. One of the reasons I think it makes sense. See how it was really bright for a second? Like you go from here and you look out there and it's bright and it kind of slowly dims. You go out from light into shadow back in. It's really bright for a split second. That's something that Skyrim did, where you could look up and your eyes had to slightly adjust to the brightness because it gets brighter, you know, to your eye. Like there, it seems really bright, and then it kind of focuses back into not being as bright because your eyes have focused. I love that. That's a great little touch to the game that I find myself always. I find myself like, wow, that's great that they actually did these nice little touches. Sometimes, let's see if I can find another thing here. It's really bright there until my eyes adjust. You can see, it's kind of hard to tell, but look at this, my eyes adjusted. Look at all the nice particles and ash flowing through the air. It's really subtle and very, very well done. I love that effect. And you didn't see anything like that, by the way, in GodeAter Resurrection and or GodeAter 2. You never had these small subtlety in the graphics. You didn't have much vegetation in it, and you just didn't. And because you don't, that's one of the things that I talk about in the game. Like why I like that aspect of the game. They're just little touches that really sets it apart. Get my face. I'm not doing this that great. I'm going to do better, but I'm just trying to show you a little bit of the gameplay again. Using this laser beam. It's a very fast and kinetic game when it comes to the combat. Which I love. Everything's great. About it, just gonna heal real quick and get that done. I'm not talking real much because I want to play some combat. Doing that shield thing is great. What's funny about that shield stomp, you can actually do it several times, and I think you can do it again and stay pretty much in the air, which I love. I think that's great. That's unsatiable appetite. I can do this and do more damage with the arrows. And look at this. And do my super thing. Okay, he's done. No problem there. Normally I wouldn't even take that many hits, but I did. It's just such a great game. Water has multi-parallax in it. There's a couple boards that there's this whirlpool on the outside. I love that brightness to where your eyes adjust. I think it's a nice touch. None of those type of touches, by the way, none of those graphical touches with the lighting and all that was actually in God Eater Resurrection nor God Eater 2. None of that. That did not happen in that game. And I love that getting around fast. That means I can pick up these items real quick if I need them. And do that. It's going to go black, and then I can... And that's the end of the mission. I just redid that mission, got some parts, whatever, which is good to do. You know, just to kind of like, you know, get some stuff that I might need for down the road and different kind of skills there. So, but the game is really, really good. The combat is very similar to Devil May Cry. That's what it reminds me most of. And I think that's and it's just really, really fun game to play. I found myself playing it, and last night I fought the rank 2 boss of the world, and it was it's called an ash origami. They can devour you just like you can devour them, and can pretty much one-shot you. The characters I fought is named Raw, and I whooped the ever-loving shit out of him. He was not a difficult boss battle, even though some people say he is. I just stayed in the air and did a bunch of different things and stayed acrobatic in the air, and it just kind of kept me from having too much problems. Has beer in the throat. Anyway, God Eater, you know, story is interesting too. Some people don't think it's as good as 2's story. There's been YouTubers who think God Eater 2's story is a much better game. I don't necessarily agree with that. Let me show you another level. I just want to show you this another level because I think it'd be good to show you. Let's see here. I gotta see where conveyor passage, lower reaches, abandoned mines, lower reaches. Let's see here. I just gotta get to where I can find. Let's see here. Is it this one, the valley? Yeah, we'll do the valley mission. I'm gonna go ahead and add Lulu to the party. She's one of my favorite characters in the game, like that you can play as. I like the fact you can go back and play any single mission over again, just so you can have you can just have fun with it, and I love that aspect very much so. I think it's fantastic. God Eater 3 is such an improvement graphically. And again, multi-parallax water. This is the board, I think. I love this effect. Let me show you. I love that. Nighttime, there's like ash flowing in the air. Clouds are animated. There's lightning here and there coming out of the clouds. I love that whirlpool, that giant whirlpool effect. It's just really, really cool. It makes for a great background. Again, the lighting, the sheen off the hair with the lighting, as you can see here, how it's just the moonlight coming off. None of that stuff was in God Eater 1 or 2. So anybody that put out a YouTube video and is trying to say that God Eater, that this doesn't look as good as God Eater Resurrection or God Eater 2, you're crazy. I mean, yeah, maybe the texture work there, but it is higher res texture. And look how the water flows. It's multi-parallax. There's water underneath it. It just looks good. The sheen of the light from the lava there, the rocks that are all glowing. I love these little touches to the game. It's so great. And I don't understand that whole God Eater 3 doesn't look as good as Resurrection, or looks no different than Resurrection, or about the same as those two games. Because no, they don't. This looks so much better than those games in many, many, many ways. And maybe not like in a sense of a big jump, but it's nice. I love the flowing of the water. I like the way it looks. It's nice. I love the glow of everything, the lighting, the light sourcing, the shadows. I love the fact that those little bushes are animating in the wind. It's all the little details that I think make it stand out from Resurrection graphics and Rage and God Eater 2 Rage versus graphics, more so than anything else, to be perfectly honest. I think it's great. You know, I just love that what they've done as far as graphics are concerned. And it's just little subtle touches to the graphics engine. And again, this was not, the other two games were made on a handheld PSP and was ported. This was made specifically for the console. So the console, by definition, looks better. You know, it blows me away when people think that a handheld unit, and this was built specifically to the console, works with that. It can't it can't from that technical standpoint. It shouldn't be like that. So I don't know. I find that to be kind of a silly thing. I'm just playing a little bit godeater on this mission because I just wanted to show you some other gameplays and graphics. The gameplay is essentially the same as godeater. It's godeater 3. I mean godeater 2 in Resurrection, except for that maneuver right there. I don't love that whirlpool. Except for that, these right here are little fountains that if you're down on your OP or your HP, they will heal you. I know in godeater Resurrection and godeater 2, you know, in Armagami you would chase away and it said it's going to feed, but there was nothing there to feed on. Now Origami go to these areas, these little places, because that's what they feed on. This gives them their health and stuff back, but it also does the same thing for you. So that's nice that you have both. I'm just trying to go find whoever to fight creature-wise so I can do this and get to whoever's left to fight here. I do like that shield bash. You can interrupt some monsters as big specials with that and knock them down to the ground if they're flying, or you can knock them back onto the ground. Look at that! Look at that lighting in that water. It's beautiful. And you can do that. I think that's pretty interesting. The maps, some maps are bigger than others. The maps here are a little bit more expansive in terms of like what they kind of which is great. I feel like there's another particular YouTuber I talked about, Rucon Dwarf, talked about how again he hated these one controls. And the controls are fine. There's nothing wrong with the controls. The controls are fine. No problems there. They're easy to pick up and easy to master. And again, you did say that, so we're going to fight this guy. It's not that big a deal. But I knocked him down with my shield. This shouldn't be coming. Hit there, not too bad. Parts of it down. Damage there. You do have to, by the way, if you are knocking off in, you do a lot of damage. Switch here, tie in with that. This gives me some of your first, gives me level 3, which is great. You do have to dodge, that's really how much you have to see. Like I can jump, dodge, into that, and I can dodge out of the way like that right before he attacks. Again, the combat is so good, it's so fast, so good. Sometimes you can just go but that's really not the other godeaters do that. The camera is a better camera just because it's a little bit further back from the original. Second, right in. Baby's running away because he's trying to get too much speed points. So you're trying to stop him. heal. But gotta sit there and heal a little bit on that fountain.
Soaking in the afterglow ain't
Gonna
bad.
see his parts, and that's basically a little bit of the combat. It's fast, it's furious. You can do those step guards, step charges. You know, where I like dodge out of the way last second and then jumped right back into the fray with the shield thing. I love that. This is great. You know, switch on the fly. It's just, the game is great. godeater 3. This is episode 14 called Full Disclosure, and I'm just talking a little bit about the game and how you go about doing things. I wanted to show you also gameplay, talk a little bit at length about the game, and you know, that's just an optional side quest. And again, you garner parts every time and reward money every time you go and do it. And I'm just gonna go back in here. Not going to get much into the story. It does revolve around a delivery of a special girl. Spoiler alert, she's an origami, but she's human, and she's like a special type of creature, and ends up joining your team and is very useful in battle, and uses and fights with the crescent moon. This is one of the new weapons in the game. Over here, like the original, just like the original godeaters, you can craft and item prep stuff. This is all the stuff that you have. You can put consumables. You got snare traps, delay mines, stamina boosters, all that stuff that was in the original game. If you upgrade equipment, you can go through all your stuff here. It tells you what's upgradable. I can't upgrade what I'm using now. I can upgrade my old ones. Like, one of the things that's cool about this particular one, there's 3 versions of it. One is like lightning, that's fire, and one is for frost, which is, or ice or frost, and that's pretty cool because you can look up the special skill of each. One says absorb, reduces knockback while receiving damage. It's pretty nice, that particular one. Like on mine here, the special skill is Steel. Successful melee attacks restore OP according to the level. And what makes that, and there's no installed skills personally, but the burst plugin is nice because even though you melee attack, and you always get OP back, in this particular instance, the skill gives me 10% and 15% more depending on my burst is at level 1, 2, or 3. So it does come back a little faster than normal. If you want to, and again, the same thing with guns, you can upgrade and craft different guns, and like, for example, that's not upgradable, but all my other stuff is. You got your shields, your different shields that you can upgrade to. I think it's pretty neat, tower shield, and it does change either their colors and or appearance. I think that's really cool. You also have a blueprint list that shows you the different rankings depending on when you want to go. This is kind of reminds me a little bit of Monster Hunter World because they got the blueprint list there, which is pretty neat. Again, I can't upgrade my buckler, but if I could, it's like it's not available yet. But let's say I was using this shield. Again, similar thing, Res F shield, makes it look more golden and stuff. It's pretty cool the way that they did that. You can do the same thing with the guns. If you want to install a skill, for example, it's just like the original. I can go here, I can look and see what I have, like what's available, like recuperate when rescued by 5% level, instant burst when allies incapacitated, increase melee special attack by 6% per level, increases crushing attack power, 11th hour. Right now that's what is installed, is 11th hour. Now the thing is, if I want to install something, the rank 1 weapons only allow you to get 1 skill, and rank 2 weapons let you have 2 skills, and so on and so forth. So now that, like, if I wanted to, for example, put in when endurance is 5 or lower, increase burst outright weight, 2% per level, that's nice because that helps you raise your burst arts stuff. But let's say as I wanted to put in tricky, I could do that. I could put it right there, and which is good. And then let's say I can go down here and see what else we got here. Reduces sound made. so which is muted, and I can put that there. So now I've got 2 of them equipped, and that helps, like, you know, gives me some stuff I can do. I make less sound, so sometimes you do want to not necessarily attract the big creatures and stuff, so that's kind of nice. I can go into guns, I can do the same thing. I can see what affection audio is, I think, is what's in there. It creates better drop rate. Let's see, reduces any activation buildup by 5% level. Health, raises maximum health P by 5 per level. So let's say I want to put in that one. Now I got more health with that particular weapon. If I want to increase the speed of gun special attacks by 3%, materials gained from devouring. It says bottomless. You know, there's just different things. I can grant one or more, but let's say I want to put in gun special attacks. Put that there and hit OK. Done. There you go. Now I've got 2 of those. You're just equipping different types of skills you can get. They have different ratings and stuff. My buckler I can put in increases defense by 1% per level when foe is in burst. That would only really work out if you were fighting Ash Origami. But let's see here. Maximal stamina of 5 per level. It's already got 1 in there. It only can have 1 skill, so we'll leave that alone. So you can do that. Crafting equipment is done the exact same way. You can go through your different ones and see what's available. Like here's Altair, there's Page, different things that I can blade, tail blade, different kinds of Buster blade, which is the big giant swords, and they're really cool looking. Some of them are carryovers from the previous game. Some are new. Boost hammers. These are your hammers. Like, and I like using the hammer sometimes. You've got your charge spear. These are different ones that you can get. It does piercing damage. You got an Esquire. This is the variant sight. These are the ones I've been using in the game. And you got your twin blades, of course, and then you've got your heavy moons, which a lot of people online are using heavy moon. Apparently, it's essentially a very OP weapon. That is so awesome looking. I love the way everything looks and just feels. It's nice when you get new stuff to build. And again, you're just taking parts just like a Monster Hunter, and you're using those parts. Have photosphere. What was that one? Let's see. That's new proto laser. And that's a new type of laser. That's pretty nice. It's better than what I'm using. I can't make it because I don't have the parts. But you can go to, you know, it tells you what you need to make it right there under blueprints, and that's pretty nice. It tells you, you might say Beanu Reed. Now you can go to your tops and bottoms. Again, you have different things to unlock for tops and bottoms, including full suits. Let's say and you can also craft all these different items, whatever's available. So it's good to go down here, and sometimes you may not find something you need, and you can literally make what you need and then be able to craft, you know, what you might need. I did that for my actual pants I'm wearing. And of course your database and all, and your allies now, you can actually give them personal abilities that help them out in battle, like recovery, stamina, and stuff like that, which is great. GODeater 3 is great. It's just fantastic. If you have never played the other 2 games, this takes place after those 2 games. Again, you have a residential and laboratory block to talk to people, just like in the original. This is not open. The return gate, that's your store, of course, and you get missions from down here. And like any of their GODeaters, it pretty much is, you know, straightforward. It's easy to learn. I'm in rank 3 missions. This is Origami Detective, and that's my next mission. And this is, and you can also review your rewards and see what you might get. And it's great because you know, you can go back and play through any stuff you played before. You can go back to even the rank 1 missions, and if you want to get fighting certain things and you want to get parts and stuff. There's one I need to redo in rank 2. There's a particular creature I've got to fight, and I don't know, it's that one. That one right there is the Urgent Evasion Notice, and it's an Ashborn, and it's like this scorpion-like spider thing, and I need to get some more of its parts. I'll have to fight it again at some point. But the game is great, and it's really well done. It is a shame that the developer did state there would be more hairstyles to choose from at launch, and there's not. But they unpatched it, added a lot more accessories that you can equip to your character. That's all done in appearance, of course. You can go to accessory A, same kind of situation. You got hairpins, um, just like the original. There's a hair clip. You want to put something cool in your hair, something pretty or something interesting. There's a buckle. I don't know why hair clips a buckle, but some of them are neat. Like, it just kind of gives you a little bit of style. You got your frizz. You've got your extensions, just like in the original game. There's more extensions this time around. This was added with the update, so you got a lot more. You got ribbons, flower accessories. You've got, which is pretty cool. You got a headset, you got headphones. You can put on a little beret, cat ear and dog ears, little, stuff there. Accessory B, you can put tape on. There's a lot of characters that have like this electrical tape on for some reason. You got your different glasses types. If you want to be more intellectual, you get some cool shades here, which is pretty neat. Some of them allow you can change the color, which is optional there. You can give yourself red ones or green ones. Some of them let you change the position. So sunglasses are pretty neat. You got eye patches. Like, eye patches are cool because you can change the position of it. Like, you can just switch it from left to right. You want different colors. There are some different colors available. Just, your basic options. Different types of stuff. You got your adhesive bandages, gauze, bandages. As if you're hurt, you got a headgear. You could probably take that. You got color schemes here. Like that. I don't know why. Over your eyes, if you want to kind of make a 2B kind of looking character. You got your headgear. You got masks. Face mask. Mask is kind of neat. They got, again, different colors. Not a whole lot. I wish you could do more on that, but the face mask is pretty cool. It's like, if you want to make ninja-like looking character. You got different types of earrings. They've got face paints. You can change it left or right positioning, changing colors of that. I wish there was a little bit more comprehensive in what you can and cannot do. Of course, there's scars. There's a miniature display that's very, Dragon Ball, kind of like with the little thing in the front. You got night vision goggles. I don't know why you would walk around with those on. You got a beauty mark, which the beauty mark is nice. It does kind of give you a little bit of different kind of feel. And again, you can save it right then and there. Multiplayer is accessed this way. You won't be able to do any assault missions, which is 8 versus a big boss character that takes 5 minutes until halfway through rank 3, almost rank 4. And that's essentially godeater. I mean, you've seen some of the combat, you've seen the graphic improvements. I've showed you some of the, things you can do. You talk to different people, and the different things you can do in your loadout and customization and stuff. And again, graphically, it's an excellent game. I love the way it looks. And just want to say that, it's definitely worth a buy. It's definitely worth your time. If you've not played the other godeaters, it's okay. This is a sequel to 2, but you don't need to play the other 2 to actually know. It's not like you have to play the other 2 to know what's going on in the story. The story is along the same lines, but it's a little different tonally and a little bit different in its presentation. But ultimately it's more or less what we've come to expect from the series, with enhancements to the combat. It's faster paced. It's a great game, and I totally recommend godeater 3. This has been episode 14, godeater 3, full disclosure, and I appreciate you. If you tuned in to watch this a little bit later, please check out Unpaid Gamers. That's the YouTube site. Give a shout out to Posthuman Guy, and I am the Juice Man, and as you always know, gamers, good gaming.